What is going on? All right, so another value prop here at Cameron that you guys can use. Use anywhere, but one of the things that we already really have spelled out for you, and it's simplifying your transaction with a TC. So if you're using a TC, and I know Ryan Snow talks a lot about this, and I think everyone should be exploring using a TC, transaction coordinator, even if you're doing a couple of transactions, because this is someone that you can leverage that part of the business off to. And as much as some people love doing paperwork, not me, but for those people that love doing paperwork, I'm like, I'm really, really good at it. What you need to be really, really good at is prospecting and making sure you're adding to your pipeline and getting more business so you have more paperwork to do. And if you love it so much, maybe you can get a piece of it, but you definitely need to leverage off some of that time so you can have more time to be prospecting and doing those money making activities. So for those that are doing those that have a TC, not only does it leverage off that part of the business to allow you more time, it also provides a value to your clients. So for some people, I know this is a mindset, is like, oh, I have so much control, and I just want my clients are not going to like being passed off to someone. And I think that's more of a mindset thing than anything else, because for me, it truly is a value. If you can have someone whose sole purpose in your business is to take care of the paperwork and do everything that's needed to make sure that paperwork is compliant, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, they should be able to do a much better job, or at least equally as good as you would be able to do, and have that focus on that. So what you basically want to be able to do is to pitch that to your clients and say, you know, I have a team, and one person on my team is going to make sure once we get this property under agreement, in fact, once we get this listing signed, they'll be reaching out to you and start quarterbacking and coordinating some of the things that will need to be done from the time from now all the way to closing. So my transaction coordinator, her name is such and such, or his name is such and such, they'll be reaching out to you. What I found at the end of a transaction, and I think this is one of the most rewarding things of having a transaction coordinator, is that your client will compliment you on how great a job that they've done. And they'll really start to look at you as even more as a professional, as a true business, because you have people, you have a team, and you're operating like a machine, right? So it's not just you that's going to be at the forefront. And of course, you are at the forefront, to me, of the more important things. And that's not to downplay the paperwork part of it, but once the paperwork and the transaction coordinating goes along, you're still going to be at the forefront when it comes down to the most important thing with regards of negotiating someone's offer and making sure they get the highest dollar value, and really being there for the real important parts of the transaction. So for simplifying a transaction, again, if this is someone that you're sitting in front of that you feel the need to pull this out of the toolbox, and a lot of the times, to me, it's an automatic, because you want to talk a little bit about yourself and how you operate as a team. And if you're using a TC, this is something that you want to mention, even if it's for a minute, just to kind of let them know the outline, the structure of your team, and how you work, and who they can expect to hear from. And this is all a part, I call it the dream team. You have to have a team of people around you. You know, if you're just using any attorney that your client wants to use, or any lender that your client wants to use, or whatever it is, your transactions aren't going to be as seamless as they could be, instead of using a team of people that you constantly use. You know how they work, they know how you work, and you can pass it along to your client to make sure that their transaction is going to go as smooth as possible. So this is the big one, transaction coordinator. Use one in your business. Make sure that you know the value of having one in your business, and you're able to articulate that to your potential client or your client, so they can find it as a value. Because if you are wary about that or unsure about it, you really have to sell yourself on it and believe it. And it'll be that much easier to communicate that with your client. So for those that are on the fence about using a TC, make sure you're comfortable with it, that you're going over some of these bullet points of why it's important for you to have one for your own business, and why it's important for your client to have one when hiring you as an agent. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are getting a lot out of these value props and using them when it's showtime, when you're at your listing appointment and you need that extra little thing to help you close it, that you're pulling these value props out of your toolbox. And of course, we have them spelled out in the files and within the units. All right, guys, I will see you soon, and happy selling.